Hi, this is Bird from Bird's SVGs, and in this video I'm putting together the back pop-out card, and that's from the Creak and Shriek SVG collection. I think this would be a great invite to a Halloween party. Okay, I'm going to put the envelope together first. So fold along all of the 4 score lines, and then to close up your envelope I'm just adding some glue to the edge of the bottom edge of the side tabs. I'll get my words right in a minute. And then I've put a little bit of glue along the bottom, but not all the way up, because you see a bit of it sticks out there, and you don't want to glue your envelope together before you get your card in it. Okay, I've got a little liner to go behind the face in the envelope flap. I'm putting a little bit of glue around the outside of the face, just so it doesn't lift away from the liner. And then I'm going to put a little line of glue around the edge of my liner. And I want to make sure that I've got that pretty central to my flap, so the border is the same around all the edges. And that's it, your envelope's done. Okay, I'm going to start with the card, and I've got my card base here, so I'm just folding that. And then I'm going to start, we're actually going to be decorating the front and the back this time, which is a little bit different. So for the front you've got a liner that's got faces similar to the envelope cut out of them. Now I'm using some plain black paper here, but you could use some pattern paper if you'd like. And then you've got these 2 overlays to go on the top. Now I've cut my first overlay in the same colour as my card base. And then I've got another layer to go on the top in black. Now obviously if you've got a precision glue bottle with a precision tip, it will come in particularly handy here. But if not, don't worry about tracing all of the letters. If you've got a glue that's got a little bit of a wider nozzle, just put a few dots here and there, and that'll be enough to hold it in place. Okay, so my top layer here is shown in 2 pieces, but I did actually modify this a little bit after I filmed the assembly. So I've made it now that the top overlay is all in 1 piece, so that'll be easier for you. And it's not actually quite so fine now as well. So if you haven't got a precision tip, it should be a little bit easier for you to actually glue this into place. It does it really cool when it's really fine. But thinking about it, I thought I'll make it a little bit wider and in 1 piece, so it's easier for you to actually put into place. So that's all I've done. So you'll find it in 1 piece in your download. And again, I'm tracing around all of the letters, but really you don't have to. Some strategic dots here and there with your glue will be enough to hold it into place. It's so lightweight. I would say as long as you can get some glue around this edge. Now I'm going to be decorating the back of my card as well, for a couple of reasons. One of them is that there isn't really any room inside to write a message to the recipient, because we've got our pop-out element inside. And the other part is because this is the kind of card that everyone wants to play with. And when you're playing with it, you're opening and closing it lots of times. So I've got some layers to go on the back of the card to make the whole card nice and sturdy and fit for lots of playing with. I'm just going to pop that on the front of my card and make sure that I'm happy with the border all around the edges. And then I'll put my back together. Okay, so again I've got a black layer, and then I've got a piece of pattern paper here. The collection I used was the Spellcast collection from Pink Paisley. But if you've got any kind of Halloween themed papers in your stash, it'll be great. And then I've got a piece here to go just in the aperture here, and that will give you somewhere to write a message to the recipient, or if it's going to be an invite, you can put the details of where the party is going to be. And by gluing this onto the back of my card, it's making my whole card base really, really sturdy. I'm just adding another element from the paper pack. Okay, now we're ready to make our insert. Now I cut the outside layers, the layers to go on the outside of my bat in from some glitter paper, but obviously that's optional. If you've got some glitter cardstock, that's great. If not, plain cardstock will work just fine. Okay, so I'm folding along the score lines of the main body of my bat. And I'm lining the inside of the mouthpiece. So this is, if you're using texture cardstock like I am, so you want to put it on the plain side. Now this is the inside, the lower jaw, I guess, of the bat. And I'm just putting this on the inside to make it look like it's got a red mouth. Actually, my pattern paper is more orange, but... I'm just making sure that it folds well. Okay, so this is going to be the back part of the mouth, and you can see where it actually joins the kind of lower jaw. So I'm just going to add some glue to the tabs here. And what happens is they actually tuck behind what will be the back of the mouth piece here. So all of the tabs will be glued away, they'll all be tucked away, and you won't see them. Again, we'll add some glue onto the other tab. Now with every step of putting the bat together, I'm kind of making sure that everything's folding nice and flat. So when it goes inside the card, nothing will bend or buckle or anything like that, and it will all fold nice and flat. Now I'm putting my layers or liners or overlays, whatever you'd like to call them, onto my bat before I put my bat together. And I figured that would make the bat piece a little bit more sturdy, and also it might be easier to put it on at this point. But again, I'm making sure that it's folding in the middle, that the score line in the middle of both of the pieces of paper are working together. Be careful not to put glue onto the middle of the eyes because it will show through. And the teeth, of course. Okay, so making sure that it folds nicely in the middle. I'm going to put my teeth into place. With everything being so dark, the teeth really show up well. I'm quite happy with the effect. Okay, now I'm going to close up the top of the head here. So there's just one little tab here I'm adding some glue to. And I'm just setting that aside to dry properly before I fold it. And I'm going to put the outside layers or overlays onto the kind of bottom jaw, the bottom part of the bat head. I thought it would be a fun touch to add, to use some glitter for this, so it really stands out when you open the card. So you want these pieces to meet up as best as you can. And again, every step along the way, make sure everything's folding nicely, so you know it's all working before it goes into the card. Okay, so we can glue the top half of our head on to the mouthpiece now. And again, put some glue on the tabs, and they tuck behind that mouthpiece. I'm calling that kind of triangular shaped piece the mouth. It kind of forms the back of the mouth. That's why it's red or orange. Just going to pop some glue onto that last tab, and again tuck it behind this mouthpiece. If you can hear purring, I've got a certain white cat on my desk. Okay, so now we can pop this into our card. Now, you want to make sure that the top and the bottom isn't protruding out from the card when it's closed. And also you want to make sure that you've got it right into the fold of the card, but it's not stopping the card from folding, if you know what I mean. Now you can see where I'm adding the glue here. So you're adding the glue to that one half of that side piece, including the two tabs that overlapped onto it. Now I put just a couple of pots of gilding wax on top of my card because it does need to sit for a minute for the glue to take hold, and I can work on some other pieces. So I'm working on my wings, and you've got these little spines that just overlay on top of your wings. And they line up with the left hand edge of your wing. Okay, I'll move on to the second wing, and again add some glue to the little spines. And it just follows along the outside edge of the wing there. Okay, just going to pop some glue onto the other side of the head. So you want to cover that half of the mouth piece, that kind of weird triangular shaped piece, but you also need to cover where the tabs overlapped as well. And you want to go right into the corner of the mouth, so there's no lifting when you open the card. And again, I'm going to weight it down again and let that dry. Once I'm happy that it's dry, I can now pop the wings inside my card. I'm adding some glue to the whole surface, and then carefully I'm going to, there's a little corner in the wing, and you want to slot it into the corner of that mouthpiece, the piece that connects to the card, and it will fit, you know, it will fit. It'll make sense when you slide it in where it needs to go. The only thing is trying to make sure that you don't get glue everywhere as you're sliding it in, but it should be easy enough to do. I'm just popping the other one into place, just sliding it in and letting it go around the corner. And it just slots into place. I'm just removing any excess glue that kind of was showing. And now I've got the little feet to pop into place. And I just kind of moved them around a bit and decided where I was happy with the placement. It was just about halfway down that bottom jawline there. But there's no set rule. You pop them where you like them. And that's it. That's our card done. So everything's working as it should, and it fits nicely inside its envelope. So whether you give cards at Halloween or whether you'd like to use it as an invite for a Halloween party, I hope you enjoy making it, and I hope your recipients enjoy receiving it and playing with it.